Hey you guys, welcome back to My Declared Arts. This morning we're going to be doing something fun. We're going to be doing some drawing. It's warm-up time. Let's get started. And here we are at the traditional drawing desk. So this morning I just wanted to do a really quick warm-up face-wise. I've got some other faces on here. As you see, I love doing warm-ups. I love doing just fun drawing, sitting down, getting some character work in. And if you go through, this is kind of my jam right here. I love using this toned Canson, I believe it's Canson. No, it's Strathmore paper, this toned paper, because it gives me a nice base to just stretch out and have some fun. As you see, I'm kind of a person that likes sitting down and just drawing. I typically will do digital stuff, but for warm-ups, I like the feel of a pencil. And today we're going to be using a vermilion, I forget what this, Kohinoor pencil. So just literally wanting to sketch. It's been a hot minute. It's been a very trying season for me. Of course, moving into the house is very stressful. A big blessing. Getting into the new studio, setting up the new studio and stuff is kind of stressful. But that being said, there is a lot going on in the channel. As you see, I typically do some reviews near the end of the year, depending on companies that contact me. Black Friday, a lot of them want me to do stuff for Black Friday, and then of course the holiday season. And that's all well and good, but the base of the channel always needs to come back to creativity and drawing. And I've said this before, and I'll definitely say it again. I don't make any money with this channel as of yet. Now I do have companies that contact me and want me to do stuff, and they compensate me by giving me quote-unquote things, and I think that's all well and good, but the channel really needs to be able to sustain itself, and I'll be doing a lot of things here in the future to help perpetuate that ideal. But that being said, drawing is my jam. I love doing this. I love drawing. I love sitting down, being creative, and basically showing you guys that you can do this kind of stuff, right? You can sit down and have a few minutes to get creative and build your portfolio, build your base, get better every single day. There's a channel that I love. It's called Smarter Every Day. If you don't know Smarter Every Day, definitely look for it. It's run by a guy, I don't know his last name. His first name's Destin, and he is just a joy to watch. He's so enthusiastic about learning, and I love people like that. I love seeing people that, even though they've been in their field for a long time, they still loved drawing. I'm not drawing. They still love the essence of learning. And really, that's what this channel is about. And I think because of the fact that I don't make money on this channel, that I've kind of strayed a little bit. I had somebody get so mad at me. This is not a review channel. This is an art channel. You need to stick to your core. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. You definitely put me in my place. So yeah, we'll be getting back to a lot of this, because this is what I originally intended the channel to be, is a drawing channel, and I thought as it progressed, getting more and more, it would be a little more popular, but that's not the way the the algorithm works. Talk about the algorithm, the thumbnails, all of the things involved in understanding how to quote-unquote work YouTube. It's hard. Let's give him a mustache. And yeah, I mean, finding out what works for you and your channel is your jam. Yeah, so this is just again, a really quick sketch to get the ball rolling. I've got a lot of work today. Yeah, so after this, I get to go to work, which is a blessing. There is no reason to complain at all about having a job in the art field. It is challenging, but it is very rewarding when you get to see what you've created. Here we go. There's a nice face. Let's go ahead on to the next one. Yeah, see what you've created in the marketplace, or on the screen, or affecting somebody's life in a positive way. Eventually, I think what'll end up happening for me, and this is just by way of predictability, I've been doing this art thing now professionally for what I consider a long time. You've got some people that have been doing it so much longer than me, which is awesome. If you can make a living at doing art, I definitely think you should try. But yeah, eventually I'd like to segue over into producing my own stuff, producing my own things, and being able to have some of that residual income that I don't have to work all the time for somebody else, which I enjoy working. I like being part of a team. For the longest time, I was a freelance contract illustrator, and basically you're kind of at the whim of what people need, and you do things, right? And you have that freedom, and with freedom comes great responsibility. And you have to have self-motivation, you have to manage your money, you have to do a lot of things. But with that freedom comes the opportunity to do things, and that's where kind of the channel sprouted out of. But now that I'm back in corporate goon, not really. I love the job that I'm at. I've been blessed immensely, and there is no complaints at all. But there's, of course, that corporate mentality that you have to have, which is, yeah, you have to bend to whoever is paying you to do things, and you know, they have deadlines and shareholders and all this other stuff, and that's completely fine. But eventually I will be transferring over, maybe another 10 years, we'll see. 10 years, that's my timeline. 10 years in corporate. Because I worked in corporate for 14 years, and then I segued to freelance for just over 10, and then I went back to corporate. So yeah, there's nothing wrong. It's fine. Corporate's fine. What you can really expect in corporate is a lot of, it's very money and timeline motivated, and those are fine. Those things are fine. But you really have to understand that even though the art, especially art, corporate jobs, you have to understand that there is money component involved, and it's a challenging thing sometimes whenever you have to sacrifice maybe quality or creative vision for the sake of somebody else's idea of what things need to be. And that's part of it. So literally just character. It's all this is. It's not trying to do anything prolific or wonderful. Just to get some of these out, just to get this out. I mean, this kind of gets rid of I call them the bats in the belfry. It gets rid of the bats in the belfry. In the morning, right? I live up here in the Appalachian Mountains, and it gets cold here, so this morning it was like 25 degrees. Been up since 5 a.m. I'm an early riser, and I also go to sleep a little bit later, so I typically run on about 6 hours of sleep, 5.5. I would like to get more, but my body's like, nah, we're getting up. So I get up. Yeah, so here's two faces. So whenever I get up in the morning, I've got just a lot of things I have to take care of. And whenever I finally get in the studio around 7 a.m., ready to work, sometimes I just like to take a moment. Like this morning, took a moment, organized things, went through emails, and basically saw it. You know what? I haven't done just a drawing video in a while. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw. So as you see, a lot of times I'll start out with a shape based upon character. So this is kind of going to be a bruiser. So the bruiser will typically have large jaw. I mean, very large jaw, right? Here, big old bruiser jaw. And then he'll have typically some small eyes. And then his head typically will be small because in the context of character design, you have to think, what is the what is the focal point of the character you're trying to design? So if he's a bruiser, again, large body, small head, small brain cavity, small eyes, ears, typically cauliflower ears, really small ears, maybe depending on nationality, what nationality you're illustrating, you're going to have some of those nationality traits. And yeah, big jaw, because, you know, big strong jaw. So that's kind of what this character is. He's going to be kind of like a bruiser. So he's going to have, right, eyes. And you kind of construct your drawing based upon existing information in your brain. So as I progress through the drawing, I start out with my basic shape, right, and then I put in the jawline. You saw I put a line right here, which kind of indicates where I'm going to put the line in the eye line. And then things have to relate to each other. So you can't have, well, you can do whatever you want. It's your drawing. But for me, I like to have things relate. So whenever it comes to anatomy, certain things have to make sense. If you have the ears, then right, you can have a long nose, but it can't stray too far from my perspective. I mean, you could put the nose anywhere you want to. It's your drawing. But you want things, or at least I want things, to kind of live in the real, kind of in that zone between real world and completely cartoon stylized. And that's kind of where my drawings lie. There's a degree of realism there, but also it's the stylization that kind of gives it that whimsy. And I'm not one to draw gore. I'm not a gore illustrator. So maybe he's had a fight recently, so he's got to have a band-aid on his nose because he broke his nose. Somebody popped him. So yeah, I'm not really a gore guy, so you're not going to see a lot. I mean, I've done zombies. I've done vampires. I've done pretty much all of that stuff. But you're not going to see that a lot on my channel. You know, another thing you're not going to see is like sexy ladies. I don't draw quote unquote sexy ladies. I'm not into that. I don't draw anime. I don't draw anything like that has a sexual component. Because I mean, there's enough illustrators doing that stuff out there. I don't need to step into that or anything like that. And plus, for me, I just don't need that. Okay, so then typically for me, small little and you see, okay, so you see what I'm doing. So I go back and I'm like, okay, so where do I need this mouth to be? I want him to be kind of smiling because I want this eyebrow to come up and get a little crease right here, a little crease right here, right? Maybe he's got shaved his head. Right here. So now I want him to smile because I'm going to show a tooth missing. So now I have to think, okay, so cheekbone, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyes wide. And then you have this right here. So we're kind of close. Typically the bottom of your nose is right in line with that. And then you have the center line here that goes on the corners of the nose. I'm sorry, actually it's these corners of the nose and the center of the eyeball goes with the mouth. But we're going to go ahead and stylize a little bit because it's my drawing. I do what I want. So here, we're going to have that come up a little bit higher. Typically the top lip thinner, right? Draw the entire teeth, but then we're going to have one missing. Just a skosh of the bottom lip. You're going to want to darken that in. There you go. And literally, whenever I draw, and I've said this before, whenever I draw, I start doing the voice of the character. We're going to have a kind of a butt chin, so we're going to go ahead and bring this line down, because here's the side. Actually, this could be his chin, but this is his jaw line. And then we're going to have his chin come down. Here. Okay. Anyway, so like I was saying, doing voices and stuff, I love... Maybe he's got a scar. Yeah. And just listening to my brain as I'm doing the drawing, listening to what I'm feeling and wanting to do. There we go. So now light source, upper right hand side. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw that line here. I'll come here, here, and we'll just shade all of this. This will all be darker. Kind of a rim light right there. Comes around. And here we go. Maybe he's wearing a collared shirt because he's going to Sunday Mass or something. I don't know. So yeah, that's another character face. Yeah, so now we'll move on to the next one. So as you see, this last drawing, I had a round head, right, round jaw. That's kind of a theme. Here now, they got the big, strong butt chin. Now, I'm just going to do a square. Again, 3/4. Why not? Big old strong trapezius. Neck muscles. A myriad of ways you can design characters. You can do pretty much whatever you want. I'm a big fan of something called the mashup. If you don't know what a mashup is, basically you take two things that are opposites or very dissimilar. So like a frog and a robot, you mash them up. Then you have a frog robot, right? Or you take a alligator and a chinchilla. Boom, you mash those things up. And it forces you to kind of think, okay, anatomy, how can I create this character and have him make sense in the context of the world? Because alligators and chinchillas, I mean, you have a reptile and you have a mammal. So you're going to have to kind of mitigate that ideal in your brain and an idea. Okay. So that's kind of similar whenever you do character stuff like this. So you have a big lummox character, and even though he fits the stereotype, quote-unquote stereotype of a lummox or a bruiser, you kind of want something that is completely opposite. So I've talked about this before. Maybe he collects unicorns. Maybe he's got... he likes Labubu. I really don't know. So you just kind of have to think about that stuff, and it makes for a more dynamic character overall. And I think that's important because you just don't want to blindly go in and not have an idea, even though I kind of did that this morning. I'm like, okay. But I've always got ideas, so that doesn't really affect my brain capacity because I've got ideas all the time, and that's probably why I don't sleep very well. Yeah, here we go. So here, cheekbone. And you see, it's like I'm not working in one specific area. I'm kind of moving around because it all has to do, for me, with balance. I can see it in my mind's eye of what I want to do, But a lot of times the drawing itself will come out. And as you progress through, you'll start noticing certain things happening with the drawing. And the drawing will suddenly appear. And you'll be like, oh, that's even better than what I thought it was going to be. And sometimes you completely mess the drawing up and then you're like, oh, wah, wah, wah. So I think the latter happens to me a lot more than the former. And I think that I basically am open. I'm open. Open for business and creativity. Allowing for the miraculous to happen. I've got... Okay, so this is just a few. Behind me on my right, I've got a whole wall full of these. I mean, I love going through, and all these are traditional. So just having some fun, doing character faces, right? Just seeing what I can do. And I do this all the time, and then suddenly you turn around and you've got, 400 drawings. And you can put them up on a wall. And it only takes a short amount of time to do stuff like this. Give him a little mold. Little mold. Yeah, he needed a mold. So now, I just encourage you guys. Really, that's one of the things that hangs people up. And I saw this time and time again when I was teaching in the college. They beat themselves up, and it has to be perfect. And it doesn't. It doesn't have to be perfect at all. Just do it. For lack of a better phrase, Nike really nailed it with the Just Do It campaign in the 80s. All you got to do is just start. Just start, man. That's all you really, really need to do. Just start and then do it. And then for goodness sakes, finish something. Little butt chin. I like butt chins. Okay. So he's a bruiser, right? He's got a big old thick head, thick neck, right? Huge chin. He's got a little mole right here. But we're going to make it a little bit fun. I wanted to say funner. No. Come around here. He's got some rolls. If you eat too many rolls, you're going to have rolls. Not judging. Gotta have eyebrows. I can definitely say the older I get. First of all, everything tastes good. Everything tastes good. Especially fast food. Holy moly. They put a chemical in the fast food that makes it taste so good. I'll eat fast food. Very rarely. And typically if I do, it's because of necessity. I'm dying. I need to have food now. Ooh, McDonald's. But everything tastes so good. Yeah, and then you eat it and you're like, oh, and then your stomach hurts and stuff like that. You're like, oh, I put on 5 pounds. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Yeah, because your metabolism, whenever you're young, you're invincible. I'm invincible. Woohoo! And then you get older and you're like, wait a minute. I can't have an entire loaf of bread in one setting? How dare you? I will eat. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. It hurts so bad. Okay, so what I was saying was that dichotomy of thought, that dual, you have the bruiser. Now we want to give him some type of element that makes you question and complexes what he is. So now we're going to give him little tiny glasses. Little tiny glasses. Now he is a professor of brutology. Please open your books to page slap. Okay, so again, light source similar to here, coming on the right hand side. So we're going to okay, here. Okay. Shall I say? Professor Hank of Brutology. Yeah, and what's nice about this is once I get done, so I'm done. So once I get done, yeah, suddenly you have drawings you can go back and reference. Come on, man, what is this? Russia! Yeah, so you see, just having fun with these. And I did these. So I did 4 faces. Took me less than probably 20, 25 minutes. And I can go back and kind of peruse through these. And I can date these too. What day is today? 3/25. 12/3/25. Yeah, just having some fun. Come on, man. Having some fun. Light source on the right hand side. Go down here. Cast shadow. He looks a little too sinister for me. Yeah, having some fun. Drawing. And that's what I had for you guys today. So yeah, warm-ups. I think doing stuff like this is kind of, it's a building block. And for those of you who want a quick fix, want to do things instantaneously, drawing and learning how to draw and being creative and investing in yourself, it takes time. And whenever you have so many things pulling on you, and pulling on your time from work to play to family to friends, especially if you're quote unquote, how do I put it? The focus of somebody else's life. Like if you have children, you really have to mitigate, oh my goodness, you have to mitigate that time variable. I got into a rut probably 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, and I had lost the passion for doing what I do. I decided that I was going to rekindle that passion, and I went back to the basics. I went to foundation, and I really started studying form and all of the elements and principles of art and getting back to what I love, which is creating characters and telling stories. And that's basically where all of these behind me, as well as all of these, I mean, I've probably got over 500 or 600 or even 700, I don't know, because I did so many digital as well, drawings that really I thought I need to get back to where I love drawing. And I've kind of gotten to the space now because I was freelancing, and now I'm at a spot in my career where I have a home studio and I work out of my studio and I design toys, and that's all grand and great, but I cannot lose that component of passion. And that is a dangerous zone for an artist to be in whenever they lose their passion, because they grab hold of, it's not fame, it's the basics of life. So if you've got a job, you go to the job, you sell your time, your creativity, you get paid, and then you buy a house or a car or clothes or a cell phone or whatever, and then you're levied as far as your creative nature. You have to be creative. That is a hard thing for a human being to be constantly every single day, to be creative constant every single day without investing in yourself and having an alternate outlet. I exercise quite a bit, and I also have family time, but also I draw and I read books. I don't play video games, but if that's your shtick, that's fine. You can do a myriad of different things to really invest in that artistic library and expand yourself. Learn a new piece of software, buy a tutorial, and that's something that is an investment back in yourself. This little 25-30 minute investment has dividends. It pays you back. It pays you back in muscle memory. It pays you back and understanding form and the drawing process, and it gets your hand moving. And I encourage you, I implore you, I really encourage you to take a moment, if you've been struggling, especially in the creative field, if you're a creative professional or a budding novice, professional, whatever it is, I encourage you that it doesn't all have to happen in one day. You don't have to have a miraculous breakthrough every single time you sit down and draw. You can have failures. And I think that that phrase, fail faster, is something that I've latched onto because I want to get all the unpleasantness out of the way, all the failures. Are you still going to fail at a lot of things? Sure. But I fail a lot less now at drawing than I used to because I took years of investing, and it takes a little while. So definitely be encouraged, because I'm a really good example of somebody that took work and turned it into a joy, and not just making it so terrible. Because work, whether it's investing in yourself or whether go and work for somebody else, it is a joy to be able to do this whole thing. And art is wonderful. Drawing, sculpting, computer graphics, creativity, just have that zeal and that fervor for life and what it really can do for you. And don't focus on all the negative things and all the things you see in the news and stuff. Just really look at what you want to do, and don't limit yourself to one thing. I do a myriad of things. I do music, I do art, I do sculpting, I do computer graphics, I do car repair, I do car restoration, I do just so many different things. And I think that that's grounded me and helped me be a better rounded artist overall, and really to have joy. And that's something that I encourage you to do too. So thank you guys for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Just share, like, and subscribe, and we'll be expanding the channel. And I'm excited. 2026 is going to be big for us. All right, we'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see, and definitely stay tuned because we got a lot more coming.